Hey guys, what's going on? It's Roth, and I am delighted to be here with Freddie Highmore. We are going to talk about the 6th episode of Bates Motel, which has just aired. So if you haven't seen it yet, full spoilers here. Go back and watch it. Come back here. We're going to chat about it. Big stuff happens. Okay, so we've heard Norman speak as Norma previously and speak to Norma in his mind. But this is the first time he has really played full-on dress-up.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what that was like for you, how you worked with Vera to sort of adopt some of her mannerisms, and just kind of the writing. Carrie Aaron, I think, wrote this episode.
Yes.
And I thought it was beautifully specific in terms of the things that he said that a teen boy would never say.
Sure.
You know?
No, the writing is always so spot on, and in a way the writing was so understated, which was necessary. It wasn't over the top, or it wasn't Norma having one of her big extrovert moments.
Meltdown.
Exactly. And that's, I think, makes it all the more creepy to see Norman kind of happily wandering around the kitchen.
In his robe.
In the robe, of course, but it was the sense that he was happy. That's what makes Dylan's reaction priceless, is the fact that Norman has no awareness of it, and he's not even worked up. He's just kind of the calmest that he's seen him for a good few hours.
Yeah.
And that's pretty bizarre.
And it's the middle of the night, and he's acting as if it's breakfast. I was just telling you that the line, I don't know why, but this one I loved. I have some beautiful blackberries in the...
No, I know. I guess you attempt to mimic Vera's mannerisms and voice to some extent, without it sort of becoming a parody.
Yeah.
But
That's a tricky line, isn't it?
yeah, well, yeah. You always, I guess there are various takes that you do, and some are too big and some are too not enough, but hopefully they found the right one in the end.
Well, the great thing about the show is that dark comedy. I mean, it's funny a lot of times. Terrifying, but funny.
Yeah, it's something funny, isn't it, about seeing Norman in the robe. I remember trying it on, it was right back at the start of the season actually, where I was with Monique, the costume designer, having a fitting for all of the stuff for the 3rd season in general. And I saw Norma's robe and I was like, oh, let me try it on, like just see how it fits. And so she ended up taking a photo and then sending it to Carrie, and then Carrie kind of worked that in and used it for her for episode 6 that she wrote. So that was the kind of moment where you thought, oh, and I kind of looked at myself and looked at Monique, and then they ended up making my own robe to fit me perfectly.
Is this something that's now going to be established as, he's sort of tucked away the dress under his bed already after smelling it very weirdly, and he's really done it now. And so is this, I think this is something you can't turn back from. Once he's gone there, he probably will continue to, yes?
Yes, I think now Norman will always have this splitting as well of Mother Norma, as we like to refer to her, the sort of vision that appears to him, and his real mother. And that hiding away of the dress will become even more significant as Norman battles to distinguish between those two people, and trying to exert some sort of control over it by taking something that he knows she often wears, and knowing that if she ever does reappear in it, then he can kind of point her out as a fake.
Yeah. How does his relationship with Dylan evolve from here, though? Because Dylan can also not unsee that,
Yeah, I know, and he's hit pretty hard as well with the kitchen smashing up at the start of 6.
Yeah.
That was great fun to play, really. You just get to go into a kitchen and just hurl everything at Max, and especially for the I know, but especially for the off-camera stuff, because they're not even looking at you, and all your off-camera duties are to throw things in his direction. So you'd sort of aim them to hit all around him and think, oh, I'll go for one above the head this time, and
Did
just
you ever
kind
hit
of
him
plotting
with
your. No, I never hit him. I hit once right on the. I'm not sure if it's in there in the door frame just above his head, and then bits sort of fell down. But that was the nearest we got. But that was.
So
I guess it's hard for Dylan to come back from that. And
reconcile that. Also, another thing that was interesting over the course of the first 6 episodes is that, Norman hasn't killed anyone in a while. And there's pieces of me that think that need must be building in him, How do you play that for yourself? Do you feel like that is that's a need or an anxiety that's sort of bubbling to the surface and will have to be met at some point.
Yes, I think so. I'm not sure whether it's this bubbling of a need to kill, more that in the moment it will just reach this point where he can't control it.
Yeah.
It's these kind of bursts of dangerousness that he can't get a hold of and tuck away. And of course, at one point, it's going to have to bubble up too far that he can't go back. But I think from Dylan and Norma's perspective, now that they are much closer, and Norma in some ways is starting to get closer to Dylan in certain respects that she isn't with Norman. And so that sort of trio will become ever more important, and maybe see towards the end that Norma and Dylan both try and side with each other in how best to help Norman.
And Norman is quite jealous of not just Dylan, but now he looked a little jealous of Caleb too in that final.
Yes.
I'm wondering when one of their numbers is up.
When there's a great scene in 7 where lots of people come together. So you should wait and see for that one, without wanting to give it all away.
Just sort of final question. We know where this is heading, right? Like the final thing for Norman is going to be killing his mom and then fully taking her identity, right? Is there something, well, as you guys are consciously building towards that moment, I assume that's going to be the end, that you have to distinguish it from any other time he's murdered a few people now.
Yeah.
That he's done that. Does that have to be like a very special murder?
I think so. It's going to be sad to kill Vera. The thing is, Norman, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, you're going next.
You guys have such a close working relationship. As Norma loses trust for Norman, have you guys sort of worked on how to change the dynamic?
Distanced ourselves? Not particularly. I guess it's our relationship offset is still just as good as ever, even though Norma and Norman's bond has been broken in this 3rd season. We're still all right.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. So much fun to watch this show, and just a terrific performance. I love that kitchen scene. I want to know what you guys thought of it. Let us know in the comments below. Keep it tuned here to IGN for much more Bates Motel, and keep watching Bates Motel.